Okay, so video editing inside of Blender. This is the topic of today's video, and we will get straight into it. So I just opened up Blender 3.6 like that, and in here for us to be able to edit a video, we have to go into the sequencer. We do that by going to the left corner up here, and we click on this little tab, and in here we go to Video Sequencer, just like that. Now we want to get a preview and our sequencer, so we go up here next to the window we just clicked, and we go into sequencer and preview. Just like that, we now have up here a little preview where we can zoom in and out by scrolling our mouse. And down here we have our video sequence where we edit our video and audio and everything else. Before we start, we want to press N, so we get our side panel in here. There are quite important tools we want to use later. So first step, how can we import a video file or audio or images or an image sequence? How can we do that? Pretty easy. You go up here to add, and in here we have movie, sound, image, sequence. We even have color, text, effect strips, so we can add things in here by just clicking up here. So we want to import a movie sequence. You can also do that by just taking the video sequence in the Explorer and dragging it into the Blender sequencer, so drag and drop works as well. In my case, I will add in my channel trailer that we can edit a little bit in order to see what kind of adjustments we can make inside of Blender. Okay, so I just added in my little video file. As you can see down here, this is the video. The blue part is always the video part of your video file, and the green part is the audio part of your video file. We can make that visible if we click with a left mouse click on our audio part and then go in the side panel under strip down here to display waveform, and then we can see the audio waves down here. And now we have to adjust the length of our sequence, because as you can see here with the highlighted part on the left and the darkened part on the right, our sequence would end right here at 250 frames because it's set down here, but our video file is much longer than that. If I go back here and click on this little dark part of the video file, I can see the end frame of our video file, and that is frame 1210. So if I go down here to the end of my strip and I click in and hold the left mouse button and drag to the right, then we can adjust our length of the sequence by doing that. Or I click in once and now I can type in the end number of frames that we want. So in my case, the video file is 1210 frames long. So we type in 1210 and press enter. And now our sequence ends right where the video file ends. Of course, it can happen that if you drag and drop your video file in, that this video file is a little further back and not exactly at frame 1 where the sequence starts, because when you drag and drop things in here, they will appear exactly where your cursor was when you let go of your left mouse button. So for example, if your video file is back here and now starting at frame 224, then we want to get the whole video to frame 1. And we can do that by selecting both of these by pressing left click on the first one, then pressing shift and clicking with the left mouse button on the second part of our video, in our case the audio file, and now we can move both at the same time. If I drag them to the front, we can snap to frame 1. As you can see up here, there is this little number in white that indicates where the frame now or the video file now starts, on which frame, and in this case it's frame 0, and in this case it's frame 1. So I let go and now it starts on frame 1. You can also check that by clicking on the on the part that you want to check where it starts, and you go down to time in the side panel over here that you can open by pressing N. And in here you can change a few things. For example, the channel. In our case, it's now in channel 2. If I increase this to channel 3, it jumps up one channel. If I decrease it to 2 again, it's here at channel 2. And as you can see here where it says start, we have set the start of the video file to frame 1. If I take this and put it to frame 20, then you can see the video file jumps back to frame 20. So let's put this back to frame 1, just like that. So first of all, the most important thing that you have to do inside of video editing software is cutting video strips. In my case, we want to make a cut right here where I set the video bar, and now we have to select which elements we want to cut. In my case, I want to cut the video and the audio, so I select the video by clicking with left click and then pressing shift, holding shift and clicking on the audio part as well. And if I press K now on the keyboard, the video is cut at that exact position. I can now individually drag these parts around. And if I want to make a second cut, I just jump wherever I want to make the cut with the video bar and select the part that I want to cut again. And now I press K again, and now we have 3 parts. And now we want to take a look at things that we can add into our sequencer, like for example text and everything. So how do we do that? Pretty simple, just go up to add, and here you have single color, text, etc. But you can also go into the sequencer down here and press Shift A, and then you have the same menu. In our case, we want to add in a text at frame 35 here. We want to add in some text. So we go up to add and we say text, and now it will be added in exactly where this little bar is located. So here we have our text, and if you can take a look at the preview, you can see that our text is here. And how do we edit this text? Pretty simple. Click on the text, and here in the side panel you have options to change everything. Like I go in here where it says text right now, and if I type in test, then the text changes to test. Very well. We can change other things in here, like putting the anchor point of the text to other locations. Of course, we can increase or decrease the size of the text. We can open a font and take another font that we want to use. We can take the color and make it blue, green, whatever you want. We can even add in a shadow. So as you can see down here, we have this little shadow. Or we can even add in a box around the text, and we can change the alpha, we can change the color of the box, just like you want that. We also can change the box margin, so how much box is around the text. So this is how we can add in text to our video. I just want to delete this text for now because I want to show you how we can add in single color things. Like for example, now we have added in a single color. Now we want to get a line directly, a single color line directly below the trailer text here. How can we do that? That's pretty easy. Just select the color that we just added in, and we want to make this yellow. We want to make this a bright yellow. And if I go with the little video bar in here, you can see that now the color is filling out all of the screen. We don't want that. So in the side panel, we go down to crop. And in here, we will crop the top by 614 pixels so that it is right below our trailer text. Now we want to crop the bottom by 451 pixels so that we have this small line. And now we can edit the left and right by just clicking into the left and dragging to the left or right. We can adjust the length on the left side, and we can do the same thing on the right side. So like this. And now our line is here. Of course, we can still change the color of our line. Of course, we can also take the scale of things, and we can also change the rotation of this single color line. Okay, so what if, for example, you want to get another or different resolution? The standard resolution of these videos is HD, so we have 1920 by 1080. And if I go down here on the side to this output tab, then you can see down here is the resolution. And if we want, for example, a TikTok or Instagram video that is 1080 by 1920, we can do that by typing in 1080 and 1920, just basically switching both. And now we can see that the resolution has changed, but everything else looks different too. So our video file is now not completely filling out the canvas, and we can change that by scaling up the video. So I select the video file and I go into transform, and in here we have the scale, and in here I just click on the first one, I drag down to select the Y value as well, and then I can push my mouse to the right while still holding the left mouse button, and then I can scale up the whole video file like that. And now, as you can see, the video file is filling out the whole canvas. So that's how you can scale your video files. If we put them both back to 1, we can also scale them down. And if we want to change the position of this video, for example, in front of a background, so I just add in a single color background and we take this to channel 4. And now we put this background to full length, just like that. Then you can see that the background is now black. I want to change that to white. So now we have a white background, and now we want to move this video file that we have up or down or to the sides, something like that. We can use the position X and position Y for that. So if I increase X, it is going to the right. If I decrease X, it's going to the left. And the same goes for Y. So if I increase Y, it goes up. If I decrease Y, it goes down. That's as easy as that. We can of course rotate the video clip as well. Yeah, so far so good. That's it for that. Now we get to the effects. So there are quite a few effects that you can use. For example, I just take back the video file, and now we want to blur this video file. So we want to get a blur over this video file so that we can't see anymore what's happening in the video, basically. So we select the video file that we want to apply the effect to, and now we go to Add, go down to Effect Strip, and in here we want to use a Gaussian blur. So like that, we have added in the Gaussian blur effect strip. Now this effect strip is above our channel trailer video strip. And now we can take the input is set down here. So in the input over here, you can see that we selected this video as the affected strip. And now we have to increase the effect basically of the blur. So if we go in here and select the size and we pull that up to, I don't know, 45, I don't know, then you can see that the video file is blurred. And of course you can apply a stronger blur to the X or the Y direction in order to get some kind of motion blur or something. And that is how you can add blur to your video strips. I will delete this effect strip for now because now we want to change the hue of our trailer video. We can do that by clicking on our channel trailer file, and then we go down to modifiers. And in here we can go to add strip modifier, and in here I will take color balance, and just like that, if I zoom in, we can adjust the values in here and create a different hue for our video file. That's pretty easy. The last thing that I want to show you is that we can also use masks. So in my case, I want to take a text as a mask. So we add in text, put it above our video file, like so. And here's the text. And if I go to strip in the side panel, we can adjust the text to test again, just like that. We increase the size. And what we basically want is we want to see the blue background where the text is right now. So we go to the video file that we want to use a mask on. I select that and I go to modifiers. I go into add strip modifier and I select mask and make sure that it is set to strip. And now I take the text that we added in earlier. And just like that, if I deactivate the text that we use as a mask, just go to the side panel strip and uncheck the text over here so that the text is not rendered in. Then we can see that our video is now cut out. And if I go through the video, then you can see that the mask is applied. The video is playing in the background, but only where the text is located. Okay, so far so good. Now we will export our video file. How do we do that? We just go over here to the right side and we go into the output tab where we have already set our resolution. Make sure that this is on 100%. And now we have to check our frame rate. Automatically, this frame rate is adjusted to the first video file that you drag into Blender. In my case, that was this video file that is 24 frames per second. So we just leave it on this, but in the case that you want a higher frame rate for the video, you can change that to 60, whatever you want. Down here, just make sure that your whole video is inside of the frame range. So our video ends at 1210 frames, so that is correct. And now we go to the output down here. Here you just set your output where you basically want the file to get rendered to. And now we have to choose what file format we want. And in here you choose FFmpeg video. Click on that. And now go here to the encoder down here. Click on here and select H264 in MP4. Like that. And if we open up the encoding panel down here, then we have to change medium quality to perceptually lossless, like that. And under audio, we want to change no audio for AAC. And just like that, our settings are complete. And now we could render our whole video. We do that by going up to render and then saying render animation. If you click on that, then the animation will be rendered exactly where you selected it to be rendered to. Just like that, we edited a video inside of Blender. I hope you enjoyed the video and I see you next time.